Those are foods we're all familiar with. Well, the Food and Drug Administration rethinking requirements to market a product as healthy after facing pressure from food companies and lawmakers. Kind, the company responsible for these fruit and nut bars that you see all over the place, including Starbucks, challenged a ruling that ordered them to remove the term healthy from their packaging. And won. Now the FDA says the guidelines used to issue their original ruling are simply outdated. Joining me now is family medicine and emergency practitioner Dr. Janette Nesheiwat and Culture Ranch president and brand strategy expert Eli Portnoy. Thanks to both of you for being here. So Janette, give me your take on this first, because I look at a Kind bar, which I mentioned. I see these in Starbucks all the time. We're a big Kind bar household. They look pretty healthy to me. What did they say wasn't healthy about these Kind bars?
It's the content. We hear the word healthy all the time, and it is overused. It is overused improperly sometimes, and sometimes it can be deceitful to the American consumer. Most people, it really doesn't matter to them. It doesn't affect them, but it is detrimental and can be life-changing to someone who has diabetes or high blood pressure, and you've got, a candy bar or a Kind bar that has a lot of sugar in it.
Okay, wait, hold on. But Eli, I've got to get you in here because under the current guidelines, you're looking at some Pop-Tarts here, Frosted Flakes either. Under the current guidelines, an avocado can't be labeled as healthy, but Frosted Flakes can. How does that work?
Well, part of the problem has been that consumers' interest in being healthy, living healthy, eating healthy has evolved faster than the government's attention to what is actually defined as healthy. And consumers are confused, and the old way of evaluating products being healthy versus the way things are really today is just outdated. And so actually consumers are way ahead of the government here, and they're more confused than ever. And we need to start giving companies as well as consumers better guidelines on how to make the right decisions, because they're not experts and they're looking to us to be experts.
So it sounds like a lot of these guidelines were put in place during the low-fat, no-fat diet craze, because these are the guidelines. Foods can only be marketed as healthy if they meet this criteria: fat, saturated fat, sodium, cholesterol, and beneficial nutrients such as vitamin C or calcium. The levels differ by food category, but snacks generally can't have more than 3 grams of fat. That means they're ruled out of being healthy, Janette.
Yeah, and you know what? I think there's a lot of false advertising going on, but what you need to know at the end of the day is what are the ingredients of what you're putting into your body. You have to know the amount of salt, the amount of sugar, the amount of fats and carbohydrates, because if you're eating a lot of salty foods, it's going to increase your blood pressure. If you're eating a lot of sugary foods, it's going to throw your diabetes out of whack, and you're going to end up sick.
I mean, Eli, major problem, though, from a branding perspective for these companies. If they can't, by law, call themselves healthy, and they are, they have to rip that off their packaging. It changes their ability to market themselves as healthy. And this dates back to this term healthy, and the way it's categorized dates back to 1994, as I mentioned, during the low-fat craze. Sugar was not yet on the FDA's or the nutritionist's radar, which, of course, that is the big thing now, right?
Right. And the issue about fat is, if you're really very involved in fitness and the health industry, you cannot live without fats. You cannot develop your body without fats. You actually can't get leaner and be healthier without having more fats in your body. So there's been a lot of misinformation. Matter of fact, as more and more Americans get into being healthier, working out more, being conscious of it, they are very confused, and there are a lot of practitioners out there. I don't mean medical practitioners, I mean fitness people, who are giving them a lot of bad information. And so now we need the FDA to take a stronger stand, to be clearer, so people have an easier way to decide what's best for them.
They're redefining their use of the word healthy so that it doesn't just mean Pop-Tarts, and maybe Kind bars can be included.